What's up, everybody? It's the Alex Leak and Friends NFL podcast, back for another week. I am your host, Alex Leak, and this episode is the 2019 Week 7 Oakland Raiders at the Green Bay Packers episode. The 3-2 Raiders at the 5-1 Packers. Big game. Raiders coming off their bye, heading to Lambeau to take on Green Bay. Packers looking to stay hot, beating everybody in their path. I didn't expect the Packers to be quite this good this year, especially, with no Devontae Adams for some of these games, no Equinemius St. Brown, but the Packers hitting on all cylinders, 5-1 coming into this game against the Raiders. The Raiders jump out first with a 3-0 lead after kicker Daniel Carlson makes a 45-yard field goal. 3-0 Raiders early, but then just like that, Aaron Rodgers throws a 21-yard touchdown pass to running back Aaron Jones to go up 7-3. A perfect pass that landed right in Aaron Jones' lap. Aaron Jones turned around last second and the ball's like there, and right in his hands. And it was a perfect pass. Great anticipation. 7-3 Packers lead. Derek Carr would come down and throw a 10-yard touchdown pass to rookie tight end Foster Moreau, and the Raiders go back up 10-7. And Aaron Rodgers would throw a 2-yard touchdown pass to running back Jamal Williams, using the running backs in the red zone, using the running backs here and going up 14-10, Green Bay. So it looked like it was going to be a back and forth game. In this one, the Raiders were moving the ball on Green Bay. And Derek Carr, rushing towards the end zone, down 4, fumbles the ball at the 1-yard line into the end zone and out of bounds for a touchback. Shockingly similar to the same play that Carr did 2 years ago against the Cowboys, fumbling for a touchback while reaching for the goal line. He's got to learn from this mistake. This is twice now. The same play. I've never seen any other quarterback do this in the history of the game. And Derek Carr's done this twice in 2 years. He's got to understand that you can't just throw the ball across the goal line and have it be a touchdown. And you got to be more careful with the ball when reaching for the goal line. That's in the red zone. That's taking points off the board. And it's a momentum killer. And Derek Carr played pretty well in this game besides that, but that was a costly mistake. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers take advantage of it, and Rodgers throws a 37-yard touchdown pass to Jake Kumerow to extend their lead to 21-10, and the Packers would lead the Raiders at halftime 21-10. In the second half, Aaron Rodgers rushes for a 3-yard touchdown to increase the lead to 28-10. Carr would then throw a 7-yard touchdown pass to tight end Darren Waller, who is coming on as one of the best tight ends in the game this year, to cut the lead to 28-17. Then Rodgers would throw a 3-yard touchdown pass to tight end Jimmy Graham, who actually catches it and gets into the end zone for a 35-17 Green Bay lead. On 4th and goal from the 1-yard line, head coach John Gruden decides to go for it, but the Packers defense stops running back Josh Jacobs short of the goal line. Turnover on downs. I understand going for it here. A field goal doesn't do anything. You're still down. I guess you could take a field goal, make it, a 2-score game, but you want the touchdown here. I understand it. And you anticipate, especially how well they've been playing, you anticipate that the offensive line can do their job. Potential rookie of the year, Josh Jacobs can get 1 yard and get into the end zone. Couldn't do it. Great goal line stand by the Packers. And that's a second trip into the red zone down to the 1-yard line that the Raiders can't convert into points. They leave empty-handed both times, and that's going to kill you in any game. Derek Carr would throw an interception, another one in the end zone, throws an interception to Packers corner Kevin King. So 3 times the Raiders turned the ball over, right near the end zone, just leaving points on the board, and you're not going to win any game like that. Rodgers would throw a 74-yard touchdown pass to wide receiver Marquez Valdes-Scantling who did most of the running on the play. Raiders then, 42-17, they throw in backup quarterback Mike Glennon, who comes in and throws a 17-yard touchdown pass to tight end Darren Waller. 42-24, and that would be the final score as the Packers beat the Raiders 42-24 in Lambeau Field. Nice, convincing win for Green Bay, and the Raiders have to feel sick because of how many opportunities they had in the red zone at the 1-yard line and couldn't come away with points. Packers stats in this game, Aaron Rodgers combines for 435 yards and 6 touchdowns, 5 passing, 1 rushing, and no turnovers. I mean, a performance like this has to put Aaron Rodgers into the MVP talks, into the MVP conversation. Just an unreal performance. And this, shockingly, is the first 3 touchdown game, 3 or more passing touchdown game for Aaron Rodgers. It's the first time he's done that in his last 18 games. Incredible stat, where you would think Aaron Rodgers has done that consistently. That being said, Aaron Rodgers is the fastest quarterback in NFL history to record 350 career passing touchdowns, does it in 172 games. So Rodgers and Stafford both becoming fastest in NFL history on certain categories. Rodgers for passing touchdowns, Stafford for passing yards. Running back Aaron Jones combines for 83 yards and a touchdown. Wide receiver Marquez Valdes-Scantling catches 2 for 133 yards and a touchdown. Tight end Jimmy Graham, 4 catches for 65 yards and a touchdown. And Mason Crosby goes a perfect 6 for 6 on extra points in the game. For the Raiders, Derek Carr throws 22 of 28 for 293 yards, but 2 touchdowns and 2 turnovers. Rookie running back Josh Jacobs combines for 134 yards and passes running back Bo Jackson for most rushing yards by a rookie running back in franchise history in his first 6 games, 533 yards. Going back to Derek Carr, I don't know. There's been some talk about, will Derek Carr be the quarterback of the future for the Raiders under John Gruden? At this point, I don't see any reason why not. The completion percentage is there, the yards are there, the touchdowns. There's some dumb turnovers in there, but, Josh Jacobs should help. And I see no real major issues with Derek Carr. A little bit of inconsistency, but a pretty good thrower of the rock. And you give him, he hasn't had Tyrell Williams for a couple weeks, and he's not even a true number 1 wide receiver. You give Derek Carr, imagine if Derek Carr had Antonio Brown this year, or you give him a true number 1, and he's going to put up a lot of numbers, a lot of stats, and win a lot of games. So the key for the Raiders and Derek Carr is to get to the playoffs and win a game. Derek Carr has yet to play in a playoff game, so we'll see if they can get that going. Tight end Darren Waller, like I said, absolutely balling. 7 catches for 126 yards and 2 touchdowns. Passes Raider legends Tim Brown and Jerry Rice for most catches by a Raider through the first 6 games of a season with 40. Kicker Daniel Carlson kicks 1 of 1 on field goals and 3 of 3 on extra points. And the Raiders' offensive line, like I mentioned before, once again allows 0 sacks. Dominant offensive line, maybe a little bit better at pass protection than run blocking. But, Josh Jacobs has had a pretty good year so far too, so hard to say, but not being able to punch it in at the 1 isn't a good sign. Next up, the Raiders fall to 3-3 after this game and will be going to the Texans to take on the 4-3 Texans on Sunday. 3-3 Raiders at the 4-3 Texans. That's a tough game for the Raiders. Texans coming off a loss to the Colts. I think the Texans win that game, and the Raiders fall to below 500, which will not make Raider fans happy, as they were just sitting at 3-2 with a big win over the Bears. So if they drop this game in Green Bay, which they did, and then drop a game at Houston to the Texans, they'll be sitting at 3-4, right about where everyone expected them to be. They were overachieving at 3-2. 3-4 is much more where everyone thought this Raiders team would be and I think that's where they will be through Week 8. The Packers, they're at 6-1. They keep winning games, and they in Week 8 they travel to Arrowhead on Sunday Night Football to take on the 5-2 Chiefs. But the bad news for this game, Patrick Mahomes is not expected to play with his knee injury. So if no Mahomes, I expect an easy Packer win here to improve to 7-1. I don't care that it's on the road. No Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs don't scare anybody, I don't think. So Packers at Chiefs, wouldn't surprise me if the Packers get to 7-1 at the midway point of the year. Chiefs 5-2. I'm sure the Chiefs will be fired up to play the Packers, but it's going to be hard for the Chiefs to get a home win without Patrick Mahomes and to hang with Aaron Rodgers in this red-hot offense in Green Bay. Also for the Raiders, a trade. They move corner Garyon Conley to the Texans for a third-round pick. Surprising move there. So some interesting times coming up. The Vikings not far back from the Packers in the division, one game back. Packers do have to go on the road. It's a winnable game without the star quarterback starting. So the Packers could get to 7-1 and be a hell of a start to the year. So that's got to be their goal. For the Raiders, 3-3, going to the Texans to take on Deshaun Watson, DeAndre Hopkins. I see it wouldn't surprise me one bit if the Raiders fall to 3-4, and that's going to be frustrating for Raider fans. So we'll see what happens going forward, but a big win for the Packers at home in Lambeau Field. They take care of business and put up, big-time numbers, 42 points on the Raiders. So hope you guys enjoy this episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. We'll keep these episodes coming out all year long, as well as player interviews. We got a couple on deck, so stay tuned. Thanks for the support, and have a great week, guys. Peace out.